Yes, you can do it yourself. Before I show you the video, there are a couple of things I want to mention. It will only take a couple of seconds, but they're important. The coolant that I use in this video, it is specifically made for all kinds of cars. So just because it has a different color, it doesn't matter. The bottle still clearly states that it works with all manufacturers. I've done this video several years ago. Since then, absolutely no problems. Car doesn't overheat. It works like a champ. With that being said, enjoy the video. It's 2021. This is a 2007 Toyota Yaris. It's getting its first coolant flush. So I'm gonna make it quick, no blah blah in this video. A couple of things that I want to mention. First, wear gloves, which I'm gonna get in a second. Second, there is a drain hose right here at the engine. There is a plug over here that could break. Keep in mind that this might need to be replaced if it breaks while you're working, but it's in the engine right over there. And then you have a drain hose that you could attach to the bottom of it so you don't make a big mess. You're gonna need something to drain it in, so I'm gonna drain it in here. This is a good time to inspect all the hoses, make sure they're not cracked. This car is about, what, 13, 14 years old and 15, and it's doing very, very well. Also, there's a reservoir over here where I'm on low right now, so I'm gonna have to drain this one out. And to drain this one out, there is a hose over here that goes around, and you could see this is the hose. So I'm going to disconnect it from here and then just drain it from the bottom. I'm also going to flush the system, so I'm going to use a gallon of water to just pour it in and flush the actual system. And this one is pre-mixed already, so I bought the SuperTech extended life. The engine is cold. How do I know that? The system is not pressurized. You can see this hose is very, very easy to squeeze, so that way I'll be able to open it without getting water all over my face. And there's coolant all the way to the top. And as I said, this hose has to come out, but first we have to drain it under the bottom. If you're looking under the car, that's where the hose was supposed to be attached. And then that's the knob over here that you have to turn. So if you can find a hose that fits over here, like a 6-inch, it would be not much nicer to flow in your bucket. To secure it in place, I just put a paper towel over there and it just holds it in there so I could release the old coolant. And now we're ready to do that, so bucket in place. Let's see if this one is gonna break. Hopefully not. No, it's really easy, so it's not jammed. So we're gonna take it off and let all the coolant come out. And you could see it coming out, and it's a little bit dirty, that's for sure. In the meanwhile, we're gonna take this hose out. I've loosened it up with a little pick, like right under. It's coming off. And then there is a clamp over here that has to go around it and come out and go under the car and just squeeze all the coolant out of the reservoir. And the hose, I ran it down. Now you don't want to have a loop like I do right now, so I'm going to go under the car and pull on this hose so there is no higher part in the bottom of the reservoir, so that way all the coolant comes out from the reservoir. So that's very, very important. And here I am, I'm yanking on it. Very, very important to yank on it. If it's brittle or old and it breaks, it's cool, it's okay. Because what you want to do is you want to catch it now instead of in the middle of nowhere. As I said, the hose has to be lower than the bottom of the reservoir, and you're going to be fine after that. This is trickling down for the past 5 minutes, and it takes a while for all the water to come out. So that's something that will just take time. So the trickle has stopped. Plug screwed in here. Leave the hose at the bottom because you're going to need it. Put this hose back on. Now we're going to flush the system with water. I'm using distilled water just so I don't create any problems with the system. Keep the funnel up a little bit. It's going to go in easier. This system self-burps. I've heard it burping. So that's good. This is how much water went in, almost a gallon. So we're going to put this cap on before we forget. I'm going to open up the coolant side. I'm going to add some over here. Okay, so a gallon went in exactly, so it's completely full to the top. Heater is on, car is on. We're gonna run it until the fan kicks in. So the fan kicks in, and then we're gonna let it run for about 10 minutes. The process of warming up the engine takes a while. If you have an OBD reader, you could plug it in. I'm at 195, so the thermostat didn't kick in yet. I think it only kicks in around 200 or 200 and something, so we just gotta run it, you know. And the fan just kicked in, I've heard it. And you can see there's like water coming out because I overfilled this one, so this is okay. Right now the water is trying to circulate through the system. You see the bubbles are coming out, which is good. The engine is getting warm, so the engine is going to suck more water in. You see, it's basically airing itself. One indicator that the system is under pressure is that these hoses are very hot and they're hard, so you can't squeeze them anymore. And you could clearly see that the engine is working because it already dropped to 201 from 205, 206. So it is running through a radiator and it's already cooling off. So I'm going to turn it off, and now we got to let it cool off. So you cannot open it now. If you open it up, you're going to go to the hospital. Okay, so we got the cap off. We're ready to drain the water out that we flushed the engine with. The water is coming out. It's a little bit pink because it was pink before. This is 15-year-old coolant I just took out of the car. And this is brand new coolant that I just pre-mixed from Walmart. Whole $10. But yeah, I'm actually amazed. This Toyota Yaris, how clean the coolant was after 10 years. Now, it's a lot more syrupy than this one that I pre-mixed 50-50. So I'm estimating that it lost a lot of water and it became a lot more concentrate. And that's a bad thing because it will not cool off properly. So I'm glad I did a change. But the car was running fine. So there was no problems with the car 15 years later. It was just perfect. It's just I did the flush right now and I'm going to refill it. The bucket can come out. This is the flush system, still pink. Now it's time to tighten this one out. So I'm going to put my hand in here and get this one nice and tight, but don't break it. Just like hand tight, like finger tight, you know. I ran the hose already over here. I had this one open and I'm going to start pouring coolant in here. This is a special funnel that has a extruded part that allows the bubbles to escape, but if you don't have that, just hold it with your fingers like this a little bit higher, and then when you start pouring, pour slowly and you'll see the air will escape on the sides. So this is how much is left to put in the expansion reservoir. Fill it up to the full, then make sure you still add over here once your system is running for a little bit. So you have to check it after a couple of days. So I'm going to pull this one to the full. After the expansion reservoir is full, this is how much we have extra. But remember, the engine has to circulate and burp. So most likely this is going to go in here, but we got to run the car first. So I ran the car for about 10 miles and now I'm going to see how much I still have to add because I cannot see it over here and I didn't let it cool off enough to be able to suck it in out of the expansion reservoir. So I'm going to add some more and see how much is actually going to go in. I'm expecting all this to go in, and there it is, full to the top. And I'm going to check in the next couple of miles or so, but this seems to be to the top, so this is as much I'll be able to put in here. And there you have it. Don't forget to put your cap back on. Check it a little bit later. Again, I'll check it twice. Usually I do the same thing with oil. When I do a change, I check it a couple of times after I do the change. But this system is sealed. That's the advantage. This is the original one, very syrupy. This is the flush. As you can see, it's mostly water, like 90% water. And then we have new one that we put in there, and we have this much left. But yeah, I took out a gallon, I put in almost a gallon.